The engine wakes like a sleeping beast remembering its name. First a low, liquid burble from deep inside the chassis, then a rasp that climbs and stretches, until the air itself seems to tremble with intent. The body sits wide, arrogant, a sculpture shaped by wind and fury, every surface a purposeful blade, every seam a promise. Light catches the carbon fiber weave and flakes of metallic paint, turning black into something alive, turning orange into molten sun. This is a Lamborghini for the senses, a machine that does not apologize, that insists you feel it before you understand it. Approach and the silhouette announces itself. Low, wedge-like, the roofline cuts the horizon with a surgeon's precision. The front end is a statement of geometry, hexagonal vents, acute angles, and air intake that looks like a mouth ready to roar. Sharp LED signatures carve the morning into lines of light. The hood is not merely a hood, it is a prelude, a sheet of calculated aggression that channels air with the same clarity one reads a score. The front splitter sits like a blade, daring the asphalt to get closer. The stance is wide, planted, the wheel arches flare like armor, hinting at the power within. Walk around and the side profile flows like a study of motion made static. Sculpted hips, purposeful cuts where vents breathe, a side blade that slices the air to feed radiators and coolers. The doors open, whether butterfly or scissor, it is an opera of mechanics and theater, and the act of entry becomes a ritual. The cockpit awaits like the command center of some high-altitude predator, raw, intimate, and ergonomically taut. Alcantara swathes the bolsters, stitching traces the path of the driver's hands over the wheel like a map. Exposed carbon tells a story of lightness, metal accents add a cruel, deliberate shine. The instrument cluster orients itself toward the driver, a digital constellation that changes with throttle inputs, displaying telemetry like a heartbeat. Put your hands on the wheel and the car becomes an extension of your pulse. The seating position is low and snug, knees bent to feel the movement of the chassis, shoulders locked to the demands of speed. The pedals are a tactile conversation, a whisper to the right becomes a shout in acceleration. The steering is immediate and communicative, it translates curb, crown, and camber into a language of feedback that rewards precision. The gearbox, whether a lightning-fast dual-clutch or a mechanical marvel tuned to perfection, snaps through ratios with an efficiency that feels cruelly effortless. Shifts are punctuation marks in a narrative written in torque and RPM. Start to move and the world changes perspective. Acceleration is not merely forward motion, it is an act of dislocation. G-forces press you into the seat, the surroundings blur, and the engine's timbre evolves from growl to operatic scream. The exhaust note is a composition of velocity, strain, and engineering, harmonics bouncing off metal surfaces and folding into the air. At low revs it murmurs like a promise. At mid-range it becomes a challenge. Near redline it distorts into something almost spiritual, a howl that tests your own limits of control and desire. On a sweeping road the car demonstrates an exquisite balance between ferocity and refinement. The chassis resists roll with a confidence that suggests precision tuning and a relentless attention to mass distribution. Adaptive dampers and active aerodynamics conspire to flatten curves, sculpting downforce as needed so the car attaches itself to the tarmac like a predator to prey. Understeer and oversteer are not failures but tools, calibrated to the will of the driver. When the rear comes around, it feels intentional, like a dancer striking a pose before a pirouette. The traction systems are clever enough to keep the rear honest but delicate enough to allow you to play. Braking is a lesson in opposites. Massive carbon ceramic rotors bite with a smoothness that belies their ferocity. The pedal is precise, linear, the fade is minimal and the confidence it inspires allows for later braking and earlier courage. The abs speak softly, intervening only when absolutely necessary, and the resulting feeling is a trust that the car will do the violent, beautiful things you are about to ask it to do. Interior soundscape matters as much as the exterior roar. The cabin is not soundproof to silence the world so much as tuned to make the car's voice clearer. Mechanical clicks, blow-off valves, the whoosh of turbos or the visceral throb of a naturally aspirated V12 become characters in a film, each with its own cadence. Switchgear is tactile and precise, the act of selecting drive modes or adjusting the suspension is designed to be satisfying, ceremonial even. Ambient lighting traces the interior curves, giving the cockpit a stage-like quality at night. Small luxuries, chillable cupholders, bespoke leather that carries the scent of craftsmanship, and infotainment systems that balance